Record.
Well, that was fun.
All right. That way we can get started and we don't have to worry about everybody being late and it's recorded. Hey, everybody. No shame. I'm usually the late one to the game, but I wanted to make sure that we had all of the assets and all the things that we need so that we can do this with excellence because that's what I'm all about, especially on big collaborations like this one. So I'm
Hmm.
going to go ahead and start screen recording if it will let me. I don't know if it lets me when I'm recording it should. Weird. It's been a while since I've been in here, so hold up. Here we go. Share screen. All right. I like even got super organized and made up a nice little thing to go through. Okay, so first
Nice.
off and foremost, I wanted to thank you for being a part of it. I know we kind of had that conversation when we met for lunch, but it really does mean a whole lot that so many people have said yes to being a part of this because it is such a huge event. It's one of those things where I feel like you could dream big and you could hope, but you won't do anything unless you have other people with you. So, all that being
Right.
said, let's move forward here. On the agenda, we have current collaborators introduction, award categories, the budget, all of the assets, timeline, ways to connect, and then the divvying of responsibilities, which I really was hoping that more people would be able to join us live just so that we could
Hmm.
really hit that last piece there. But I
Yeah.
understand life kind of gets in the way, and hopefully we can organize the next meeting and everybody can make it without it being so last minute.
Hmm.
So, first and foremost, everybody should know the key people, key founders of this. And I am going to start labeling you guys as founders. That's going to be your specific title. The RE, which is Shelby, Parlor Studios, which is Amanda Berman, Apex, you guys. And that's Amanda and Adriana for those watching later on. And then the local archive, Amber and Mariah. Award categories. So this is where we're going to start getting into the nitty gritty because we had so many people asking, okay, so what is this award ceremony even going to be? Who's being recognized? What is the whole purpose? So we started out really hard with advertising the Mayor's Choice Award because that's really what's going to bring in a lot of people. It's got a lot of draw. People
Hmm.
want to hear what she has to say. So we did submit for her to read a proclamation and to hand out the Mayor's Choice Award, and she will choose that night of who she is going to be handing it to. We have over, I think, 40 submissions already, just based off of the
Wow.
marketing we've been doing in the last week. Yeah, it's insane.
That's awesome.
Um, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It makes my heart so happy that Fort Wayne wants to
Yeah.
recognize our artists. So the award categories are as follows. We have the performing arts and the event and experience design and visual arts. And those all have definitions that are listed here for everybody. The reason that this is important is because we had to consolidate this somehow. Otherwise, you could give an award to a million different people. So performing
Right.
arts really gives like this whole encapsulated version of anything that is performance based. So if a person is on a stage or creates a stage somewhere, that is who we're going to be recognizing with that category. Event and experience design, this could be anything from festivals, installations, exhibition pop ups, themed events, and large scale productions. We're also looking at experience design being a category that we could put restaurant in just because I know that's culinary and we do have an event, or we have a award for that. But I do feel like there is a set aside whole experience when it comes to when you walk into a restaurant or someplace
Hmm.
like even the Bradley could go here. Anywhere you
Yeah.
feel like you are transported out of Fort Wayne or you're in an immersed experience.
Yeah.
Visual arts, we have our photographers, we have our printmaking, digital graphic art, sculpture, drawing, painting, anything that is done in a medium with artists. That is where the visual arts is going to be. The
Okay.
next three categories are film and video. This can be anything from filmmaking, all aspects of filmmaking. So we're talking about directors, we're talking about stand-ins, we're talking about actors, we're talking about the people that make film and video happen, videography, animation, motion design. These could also be projects that have already been put out there on the market that stemmed from our local region. And this includes short films, documentaries, music videos, commercials, and digital storytelling pieces. Mariah here. Hey, Mariah, we are in the middle of the presentation. Feel free to say anything or jump in whenever you have some thoughts. We have um, Adriana here, who is with Apex Studios, obviously, but just wanted to give a little bit of an introduction. We're in the middle of just going through all of the award categories. We've already talked about the performing arts, event and experience design, and visual arts. And next, we are on to the film and video. And then I was just about to talk about culinary arts, where we're going to honor all the chefs, bakers, mixologists, which I feel like is a huge thing in our area right now. We have all of these aspiring restaurants that are really pushing for mixology, but we also have the unique non-alcohol places like Swizzle, and a lot of the places are creating these non-alcoholic beverages. And so I think that's really awesome to be able to potentially give an award to somebody who has mastered that craft. And then
Yeah, I love
culinary.
that you guys are doing that. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No, go for it.
I
Interrupt
like come
whenever.
from that world, so I love that you guys are like creating a category for that. I think that's awesome.
I'm so excited because every one of these categories, there's so many different representations of it,
Hmm.
right? And there's always somebody too. Like I know Mariah is a barista, and that's also something that could be put here. I
Hmm.
didn't have that on the list, but I also worked at Starbucks, and there's an
Hmm.
art form there as
Yes.
well. And I want to make sure that people feel like they're seen, and it's not just within
Yeah.
their specific businesses, but it's seen from a citywide
Hmm.
perspective.
Yeah.
And we also have literary and media. This is going to be really interesting because I also want to add into literary and media the creatives who are multimedia creatives. So you're going to have your influencers, you're going to have your journalists, all of the people who take any type of journalism, photography, and stuff in there too, and tell stories through that. This is really truly going to recognize the impact on thought, culture, and community dialogue. Then the last four categories, the last two that we really have any control over, like putting and filtering all these submissions that are coming in, are fashion and costume. This is going to be really interesting. And I have noticed that there has been an uptick in these creatives who are fashion forward here in Fort Wayne.
Hmm.
But this could also include the boutiques. And we are kind of seeing a downtick in the brick and mortar boutiques. And so I'm hoping that this also really helps inspire the people who wanted to go and take that next step into really becoming a part of the fabric of our economic structure, but also the people who are not necessarily a brick and mortar business that have just been waiting for somebody to recognize them. So,
Hmm.
clothing, costume, wearable art design. This could also include thrifters and anybody who is a curator of clothing, fashion collections, theatrical costuming, styling, innovations, and textiles or accessories. And then emerging artists. This is going to be one that I really hope to connect with youth theater on, and any of the Fort Wayne Public Library also has like a literary award that they give out every year. And I would love to connect with whoever's involved there to see if there is a way that we can kind of sponsor this and have it really umbrella all of the youth that's in our city. So that way they feel like they're already seen before they get out of high school. We have had a huge group of youth and young adults that have done a whole lot, and they seem to do the best, honestly, within our studio space. We had two young guys approach us about 2 years ago that wanted to become members of the studio. And whenever they would throw events, we had, I think the biggest one was like 500 people come through. And we were
Oh,
like,
wow.
how did this 19-year-old and 20-year-old
Yeah,
pull this off? This is insane. So
that
we
is
want to
crazy.
recognize them and allow them to see that like Fort Wayne is a good place for them to call home. And then the last two are pretty self-explanatory. We already really covered Mayor's Choice Award. She gets to choose whatever she wants. It doesn't matter. It could be anything out of all the previous categories. It could be something that she just genuinely sees as an artistic expression that has really elevated the artist field in Fort Wayne. And then the People's Choice, this is going to be anybody that is in the studio that evening will have one vote for their choice of all of, we'll have a specific nomination for People's Choice Award. So that way it's something where it doesn't feel like it is a popularity contest. We also will have one person from each category pretty much that was not nominated for the evening. The big thing here that is an informational piece that you'll probably want to know is that for each category, aside from Mayor's Choice Award and People's Choice Award, those categories are going to be limited, or I think scaled down to 5 people per category. So what we'll do is we'll go in and we will look through and we are going to create a panel of judges that will come in and look at those. We will be able to hand cherry pick those judges. We'll all vote on them based on us being the founders to try to give the most fair choice for each of those. So that way we're not picking them based off of favorites. And we will literally just utilize the stuff that they give us, like for their portfolios, to hand over to the judges. They won't know the name of the people or the brand. They will just know what was submitted. So
Okay,
that
that
way,
answers some of my questions. That's cool. Okay.
I feel like the Fort Wayne Reader's Choice Award is the number one thing that people keep trying to compare this to. And I wanted it to be so different. Like it has to be like the Academy Awards, but on a scale of there is total anonymity for people who are voting and all of that. So we'll announce the judges. That's all a part of the timeline, which on this presentation, blah, 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 I can't talk. I did not get the timeline fully built out, so it's like a rough draft. So just bear with me when we get through it.
You're good.
Moving on, this is the part that I feel like everybody wants to know about, the budget and how that really works. We kind of discussed it once again at lunchtime, but we didn't really get down to the nitty gritty of what that truly looks like because I didn't have the numbers in front of me. And now I have them put together so that I can share them with you. So budget overview and the funding sources. This right here, this bubble, this is really where we're going to get the most bang for our buck when we're promoting this. The hope is because this is a red carpet gala, we are trying to get people to sponsor this event in any way, shape, and form. And I feel like it's extremely doable because what we did was we blocked it down to 10 tables. We don't have a ginormous space anyways, but giving people that VIP luxury feel, that's going to be the most important thing. We will have a lot more of the silver tables. Obviously, those seat 8 people each. And I also have more information on each table too. And it's also in the Trello board if you get a chance to look at it in the breakdown. But basically, the silver tables, you're going to have your name on our step in, step out photo frame when they're walking in with the red carpet. They get their name put in the program, and then they get the 8 seats admission, and they get early admission as well. We'll have early admission the day of at 5 p.m. for anybody with VIP seat tickets. And then they get to get, I think, 1 drink ticket with each of that as well. And then moving on to the platinum tables to add on to that, they also get, man, I need to find it here. I had everything and then I like lost it. But it's all in the Trello board too. Like I said, it's really just up each tier. They get a little bit more, some swag, some donations, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, can I ask you a quick question? Sorry to interrupt you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I see general admission, 80 seats available, and then the table sponsorships. So are the table sponsorships like companies that are sponsoring you guys? Okay,
Yeah, this is what
they're gonna get. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Well, just so they're gonna get a table with 8 seats, so 8 people from their company essentially can come to the event, and that's separate than general. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's going to be 80 tickets available for like creatives essentially, or whoever. Am I right? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm getting.
We wanted this to feel like a tiered event, kind of merging all of the different statuses of whether you could afford to sponsor a table or maybe you are just a general artist. There are free tickets available. We're going to promote it that way. The free tickets are if
Mhm.
you are nominated and you end up as one of the top 5 nominees in your category. All of those
Oh,
nominees
okay.
will be present and will be able to get their photo taken with the photo backdrop and a VIP entry as well, which is
Okay.
huge because that means that you are also going to have FaceTime with all of the VIP people who have these
Mhm.
tables that they sponsor. So
Yeah.
we're literally merging all of the different things that you could possibly merge here. We're merging collaboration and community and connection and in
Hmm.
a way that you probably haven't seen it done before.
Yeah.
And then general admission, this is where we're going to have to vote and figure out, do we want it to be 50? Do we want it to be 75? Is there something extra if we did both? Or do we want to make the ticket price higher? This was just so that we could see overall financially what we would be bringing in without any of the expenses and stuff too. And then there's
Hmm.
also room for additional sponsorships. So, like we were talking at lunch the other day
Hmm.
about like Swizzle, and I connected with, I can't remember what the name is, the other ones that you guys use for your event.
Draft tap
Yes,
room. Yeah.
yes. I
Yeah.
think it would be so awesome if like we had somebody that could sponsor them being
Hmm.
there. So that
Yeah.
way we have automatic, like with those tickets for their free drinks, it's not coming out of
Hmm.
the ticket price up here. It's coming out of the
Yeah.
sponsor who decided to sponsor and put their name on that table.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
And
smart.
then the red carpet photo sponsor. This is one of those things where I do want to have somebody taking photos and doing
Hmm.
all of the editing. And as somebody who has literally donated my time for a lot of the nonprofit events, I really wish that somebody would have given me a good financial stipend,
Hmm.
especially since we want a quick turnaround on these.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome if we could find somebody to sponsor the red carpet for just the photography piece.
Hmm.
Amanda Berman has already decided that she wanted to sponsor the actual backdrop. And I've gotten a few quotes from local places, and I'm still working to see if they will sponsor it all. If not, I found some online that are like 6 foot by 10 foot, and they're only like $100.
Oh,
So
nice.
obviously, we would like to do the local because then we're sponsoring, or we're not sponsoring, but we're promoting, cross promoting, and showcasing all
Hmm.
the things that local can do. But if not, it's not something that is undoable with what we have
Hmm.
here already listed. And then also the red carpet itself, we could purchase one for $100, or we could see if
Hmm.
a party apart or somebody like that Mutton Party Rental could provide
Hmm.
one and get their name. And I that is literally how I'm pitching it to them. Like, hey,
Hmm.
we would love to promote you guys,
Hmm.
and this is our other option if we don't. And then hopefully they're like, hey, you know what? I can
Yeah.
donate a rug for,
No,
whatever
that's
amount of time.
exactly what we did. And like we were able to get a wedding dress for one of our sets. And like you will be surprised at how people, like generous people will be in return for like free marketing.
I
So
love it.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And then the only other thing, and this is going to be really you too, Adriana, this is what I'm really relying on you for is that program,
Yes.
getting the
Hmm.
program put together. But I do want to get some ads put together and have like a half page ad and a full page ad, and then we can pitch this to sponsors that are not
Hmm.
necessarily creatives. So that way they
Yeah.
are still able to give back to the creative community.
Yeah.
So this is right here where we're hoping the numbers add up to financially to where we're bringing in revenue. This next
Hmm.
slide, this is where all the budget really like hits the fan as far as how much we have expenses wise. The venue, obviously, we're donating the venue space,
Hmm.
but we're hoping obviously to get a profit and return off of it. So that's always
Yeah.
good. The MC, we're using Michelle Kreider. She has donated her time. I would love to give her a tip or something afterwards. So I
Oh,
feel like
she's
that would
doing
be,
it. That's awesome.
yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
cool.
She was super excited, and I was super
Yeah.
excited because I've known her from before her like butterfly immersion of being
Hmm.
healthy and all the things to like her garden, all that stuff. So I am just so excited to be able to see her. And she honestly was shocked that I asked because she said that
Yeah.
she has kind of hit this wall with her creativeness, and a lot of it had to do with her losing her grandfather and just all
Hmm.
that. And she just had a surgery. So this will be like her being able to walk into the new version of herself. And
Hmm.
then also on top of that, I'm going to be working with one of the local boutiques. I've used them before for a photo shoot to get her fitted for a tux in a donation, and we'll
Oh,
use
awesome.
them and possibly give them one of like the sponsored ad
Hmm.
spaces in the thing. This down here, this is where our cost is really going to rack up. The lighting and sound, the food
Hmm.
and beverage, all the awards and recognition, the little plaques and stuff, the
Hmm.
security in front of house staff. We are going to have somebody there to do check-in, to do
Hmm.
security and make sure people get up and down the elevator. We also want to have people that are helping host and get people around to their seating. We can do some of that as the event founders and hosts and all of that, but I want to
Hmm.
make sure that we are as free as possible to have conversation with whoever does attend. And then the printing and signage, the step and repeat photo backdrop for the red carpet, and
Hmm.
then contingency supplies. So like all of the cleaning supplies and the toiletries and all of the things like that. So
Hmm.
that roughly totals up to around 6 grand, give or take. And I feel like that is not a huge expense for an event like this. The other things that are not listed in the expenses are things that I am assuming are going to be donated, and that is the decor. I do want to
Hmm.
reach out to some florists and see if we have 10 tables. The rest are all going to be just open seating. The hope
Yeah.
would be that the florists would be donating centerpieces. And if we could get 10 florists to do one centerpiece a person, that would
Hmm.
be awesome. The balloon artistry and stuff like that, we've had some really good relationships with a lot of these different vendors and
Hmm.
stuff. I feel like them being able to put their big logo on some type of display for this event, that, I mean, it's free advertising, but also
Hmm.
I'm assuming that we're going to have a lot of press. We've had a lot of good response in the past with the events that we've done when it comes to press.
Good.
Right here, this is the exciting one. I was really happy when I put this one together. Um, 6 grand takes us to this red line. The numbers that I gave you before, even if we hit the lowest amount in revenue, if we are sold out, we would still be making about 6 grand in return. So that
Hmm.
means that we could divide among all of us about 6 grand, which
Hmm.
is incredible. And I do have a spreadsheet that I put together that will actually calculate and divide the cost based upon how much percentage wise we all input. And so,
Hmm.
what I'm going to ask is that every time you work on anything for this, whether that is reaching out, getting lunch with somebody, talking to potential sponsors, you kind of write it down, jot it down like you're putting hours in for a job. And then at the end of the day, we will calculate all of the hours and all of the time spent. And then also, like, any of the assets that you do. So, like for you, you'll be doing the program and a lot of the principles. Any of that time that you spend on that, that you have like a price sheet that you would typically put that
Hmm.
towards, we'll put that in a budget at the end of the day, divide it all up percentage wise. So that way we all get a fair share. We want to be completely vulnerable and open about this because we do want to continue this and have this be a full on collab in the future.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. I love that. Thank you, guys.
And then this right here was just a little more of the budget overview and the possible profit. Down at the bottom, the realistic profit range was between 10,000 and 12,000 for just tickets and tables alone. If the add-on sale, if it, and like marketing and all of that, and we get more sponsors, then we're looking at adding on top of that an additional 12 grand and an additional 15 grand. So there is a lot of profit potential here. And this is just the beginning. This is just for this year. We were talking
Hmm.
about how cool it would be that if this does build and we are already able to promote it for next year, starting off, like if we sell
Hmm.
out, that would be the goal, right? To be able to release the information that we are working on a collaboration with like the embassy or something. And then this
Yeah.
becomes a whole nother thing.
Yeah. We're offering like, sorry, I'm not trying to tell you what you should do, but like offering discounts to the people who do sponsorships this year. You know what I
Yes.
mean? For next year, like the next year event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go to this really quick, just so that you guys can see what I was talking about as far as the spreadsheet that I came up with. This just talks about all of the revenue potential
Hmm.
with the seats and stuff and the unit price and the amount and the total revenue here. Then at the bottom, there's all these tabs. You can go to what each of these are and put in how much it ends up costing. It'll go
Mhm.
here. A summary, total revenue, total expenses, the profit pool. And then this piece right here is the really exciting part. We just put in right here the numbers that we come up with for the contribution total, the summary percentage, and then it'll break it down for us so we don't have to do the math. And we get to each have the broken down per however much people put. And this was just so that I could show you guys. This will end
Mhm.
up in Trello as well so that we can all edit it and get it where we need it to be.
Awesome.
And back
Um,
to
I
any
do have a
questions so
question
far?
about your lighting and sound. Like, what are you looking for exactly?
Just a PA system. I would
Okay.
ideally like to have somebody who is a DJ do it. I
Mm-hmm.
thought about asking Jay Tubbs. The only thing about Jay is I feel like I ask him every time for everything. And then also on top of that, I I feel like he has a lot of following. We had someone come to our New Year's event last year that I thought about asking.
Mm-hmm.
His name is, well, Mariah knows him. It's, what is his first name? I'm blanking. The one who did the New Year's party, the one that is friends with Mike, or you guys, I guess, as a whole. It's like his DJ name too, and I can't think of it.
She's also blanking.
I'm trying to think. Was he at the New Year's Eve party?
Yeah, he was the DJ at the end, like Garrett, DJ Good
Garrett.
Luck
Oh
Garrett.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So he is who I was thinking of just because he doesn't have a huge presence in Fort Wayne, but he is a Fort Wayne
Yeah.
DJ. And I want this to feel like we have all this talent here. Why don't we
Mm-hmm.
see it more, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so let's see here.
I know you know Karita. I think that's how you say your name. Sorry,
Yeah,
The Devolies. I
yeah,
know her. I used to work with Nate at Tolan. I know he does DJ. I don't know exactly what equipment he has, but I know he DJs like for weddings. So maybe you could, if
yeah,
Garrett doesn't end up working out, you could ask them maybe.
yeah, we could totally do that.
Yeah.
I would be down to ask them. I'd be down
I could
to,
ask him if you want. I just don't want to
yeah.
like, if you have somebody you're thinking already, I don't want to like step on your
The
toes with anything.
Oh man, free meeting ending in 10 minutes. We'll have to do another one.
Oh,
Well, not.
okay.
Let me go ahead and end this and like send a new invite so that way we have a little more time.
Sounds good.
All right.